The Sonoran Desert is a landscape of terrifying beauty. It is a place of towering saguaro cacti, painted skies, and a sun that governs all life with an iron fist. For thousands of years, human beings understood that to survive here, you had to respect the heat. You moved in the shadows. You stayed close to the water. But modern Arizona is built on a massive, audacious defiance of nature. We paved over the sand with asphalt. We built sprawling grids of concrete. We erected glass towers and air-conditioned them to 68 degrees, creating the illusion that we had conquered the desert. In 2026, for the thousands of people living on the streets of this state, that illusion has violently collapsed. When you lose your home in Arizona, you do not just lose your shelter, you lose your life support system. You are thrown into an environment that is actively trying to kill you. Welcome to Arizona Homeless Crisis 2026, Extreme Heat and Forgotten Lives in the Desert. Today, we are going to investigate the deadliest homeless crisis in America. We will examine the physiological horror of hyperthermia and contact burns. We will journey into the dry washes and arroyos, where the unhoused hide from the police, only to be trapped by the elements. And we will expose the cruelty of a system that locks away drinking water when the temperature reaches 115 degrees. This is the uncomfortable truth about the Grand Canyon State. To understand the lethality of this crisis, we have to look at the biology of heat. When the human body is exposed to extreme temperatures, it relies on sweat to cool down. But when the ambient air temperature exceeds the body's internal temperature of 98.6 degrees, the environment begins pumping heat into the body faster than it can be expelled. In the Arizona summer, the afternoon high routinely hits 115 degrees. At this temperature, the heart must work overtime to pump blood to the surface of the skin. Dehydration sets in rapidly. As the body loses water, sweating stops. The internal temperature begins to rise. Confusion sets in, delirium, then organ failure. This is not a theoretical danger. It is a daily reality. The medical examiner's office in Maricopa County brings in specialized refrigerated trailers every summer just to handle the overflow of bodies found on the sidewalks and in the desert scrub. But the sun from above is only half the threat. The other half comes from below. We call it the urban oven. Arizona's sprawling cities, Phoenix, Tucson, Mesa, are vast expanses of asphalt and concrete. These materials absorb the sun's radiation all day long. In the direct sun, the temperature of black asphalt can reach a staggering 170 degrees Fahrenheit. If a person passes out from exhaustion, or dehydration, or a drug overdose, and their bare skin touches that pavement, their flesh begins to cook instantly. We spoke to trauma surgeons at local burn units who treat these contact burns all summer long. They are treating third-degree burns that require massive skin grafts simply because someone fell down on the sidewalk and couldn't get back up. And the pavement doesn't cool down when the sun sets. Because of the urban heat island effect, the concrete radiates all that trapped energy back into the air at night. Even at 2 a.m., the temperature in the city center can hover near 100 degrees. There is no biological reset. The body never gets a chance to recover. It is a slow, agonizing process of exhaustion. So, where do the homeless go to escape the concrete? They go to the dirt. After years of aggressive sweeps and camp clearances in the downtown areas, the unhoused population of Arizona has been pushed outward. They have become forgotten lives in the desert. We hiked into the dry riverbeds, the arroyos on the outskirts of Tucson. These are deep, sandy trenches carved out by ancient water flows. Down here, beneath the bridges, there is shade. There is no hot asphalt. We found a hidden community of dozens of tents, camouflaged with dead creosote bushes. We met a man named Arthur. He is 62 years old, a former construction worker who helped build the very suburbs that now surround him. You can't survive on the sidewalk, Arthur told us, sitting in the dusty shade of a Palo Verde tree. The cops push you out, the sun burns you up. So we come down here. It's cooler in the dirt, but it's a trap. It is a trap because the desert is unpredictable. During the monsoon season in late summer, violent thunderstorms can erupt miles away in the mountains. The water rushes down the canyons, funneling into these dry washes. A trickle can become a 10-foot wall of raging water in minutes. Every year, people sleeping in the arroyos are washed away, their camps entirely destroyed, their lives lost to the flash floods. They are caught between the fire of the sun and the fury of the water. But perhaps the most agonizing part of the Arizona crisis is the manufactured scarcity of water. In a desert, water is life. But we discovered a chilling trend of hostile architecture. Businesses across the state have removed the handles from their outdoor spigots. Public parks have shut off their drinking fountains to discourage loitering. Convenience stores refuse to give out cups of tap water. Water has been weaponized as a tool of displacement. We spent an afternoon with a rogue group of volunteers known as the Water Angels. They drive the streets in beat-up trucks filled with coolers of ice water. They don't ask for permission. They pull over wherever they see someone slumped in the shade and hand out frozen water bottles. We are doing the bare minimum to keep human beings from dying, one volunteer, a local nurse, told us as she handed a bottle to a man whose lips were cracked and bleeding. This isn't about housing policy right now. This is a mass casualty triage. If we don't bring them water, they will be dead by sunset. And the demographic of those dying is shifting. Arizona is experiencing a gray wave of homelessness. Seniors on fixed incomes are being priced out of their apartments as the state's population booms and rent skyrockets. We met a couple in their 70s living in a broken-down RV in a Walmart parking lot. The generator had died. Inside the RV, the temperature was 110 degrees. They were sitting completely still, wiping their faces with damp rags, terrified to use up the little water they had left. They are the forgotten pioneers of the new Arizona economy, priced out, pushed out, and left to bake in the aluminum shells of their vehicles. Arizona is a state that sells itself on the beauty of its landscape and the warmth of its climate. But for the people living outside, that warmth is a lethal threat. The desert is not cruel. It is simply indifferent. It is society that is cruel, for building a civilization in a hostile environment and then locking the most vulnerable outside its protective walls. As the sun sets over the desert, painting the sky in vibrant, bleeding shades of red and purple, the temperature finally begins to drop a few degrees, but the relief is temporary. In a few hours, the sun will rise again, the furnace will reignite, and the battle for survival will start all over. Thank you for watching this investigation into the Arizona crisis. It is a story of extreme heat and extreme neglect. If you believe that access to drinking water and shade should be a basic human right in a desert, please like this video. It helps us expose the reality of what is happening in the shadows. And please subscribe to America's Uncomfortable Truth. We will continue to take you inside the most desperate corners of our country. Leave a comment below. Should cities be held legally responsible for heat deaths if they shut off public water sources? Stay hydrated, look out for the forgotten, and never stop demanding the truth.